Yeah.
There was a time when I wish I had a voice like that. So, when I was little, we had a group of guys, we stand on the corner under the street light and pretend to be the miracles and the temptation. And the only thing we had right was the steps. We wasn't sounding so good. Before I get into my message, a couple of things I'm going to do. First, I want to wish everyone a happy Father's Day. And particularly my father-in-law, Donald Bird, who's here visiting from Seattle. And I want to wish everyone in this room a happy Father's Day. For it is a day that we all should celebrate. Because everybody here has had a father or has a father, has been a father to someone, be you a woman or a man. There's been a time or a long period of time for some of you where you've had to be a father to somebody. So this happy Father's Day to everyone, but I also want to just piggyback on something Nate said. This Friday, we're taking some young men to the dark game. And everything is free for them. But we want to, as Reverend Liz would say, do things decently and in order. So there are some forms that the parents have to fill out, consent forms. And I believe there's some in the back. If not, there is some in the office. And if you see Nate, he'll make sure you get one. So if you have a young man that you know of and you think he would appreciate a free evening at the Dodger game with us, please fill out those forms as soon as possible and get them into us so we can get an accurate count of what we're doing and have a great day with the young man at the Dodger game. The other thing I want to say is that Jerrold was right. This past Wednesday was a very, very good expression of jazz music in honor of the Crusaders. But this coming Wednesday, not only is it Ron Bishop's birthday, but he is going to reveal to a lot of you who don't know some fine music from an album that he did recently.
Wow.
And he's also going to bring a friend of his named Pat Sly. They're going to do a tribute to the great Sarah Vaughan.
Wow.
Now, we get the privilege of hearing Ron every Sunday.
Yes.
But I just want you to know that as good as it is on Sunday, you haven't heard Ron when he can play without religion.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraging all of the LA Third family before you leave here today, because you don't want to show up on Wednesday and have them work sick.
Yeah.
See Miss Rena in the fellowship hall before you leave.
That's right.
And make sure you get your ticket. Our message today is stand up and stand out. And it's something that came to me when I was thinking about Men's Month, and when related to Father's Day. There's no better way to stand up and stand out than to be a great dad, a loving husband, a leader in your family, an asset to your community, all while recognizing, unifying, and realizing and demonstrating the Father within you. You see, during Men's Month, we try to emphasize and focus on what's required to be a good man. How to encourage and demonstrate to our youth how to become a man who can grow up and stand up and stand out. Yesterday we had our annual men's breakfast. And for me, it was one of the better days. Not because we were bulging at the seams with people, but because of the poignancy of the message that was received. A young man, I think we describe him as millennials. His name is Lorenzo Brunetti. And when I say that name, I know that you have a vision in mind of what he may have looked like. But I have a feeling that Mr. Brunetti, like all of us, had been, how should we say, cross-pollinated. But his message was one representing his generation. He said that many of the young people today are pushing back on religion. They are a free-thinking group of young people who are resisting the idea of a God designed to control how we think and how we live. They believe that the focus should be on the spiritual essence of God and revealing God's nature within our daily lives. You know, a lot of us forget the fact that religion, the very word, means to bind, to constrict, to control. And what has happened is, much as we need to have structure and organization, as much as religion has played a role in all of our lives and will continue to keep us on what we call the straight and narrow, what this young man related to us was, it appears that the men who are in charge of creating these organizations and these great edifices that we worship in got so enthralled in elevating themselves and their idea of what their religion should be, and they got so high-minded and so involved in their own self-gratification, they have the audacity to want to stomp out, step on, or even kill anyone who doesn't think exactly like they do. That's right. So what had this man, young man I should say, so passionate is that he realizes, like we all realize, that God is love.
That's right.
God created all the diversity and all the different thought processes and all the different people and all the different cultures for one reason and one reason only, to see how long it would take us to come back together and be one.
That's right.
That was a message that we received yesterday from a young man, 27 years old. Ralph remembers everything. So you see, this idea that there's only one interpretation, only one set of rituals, only one special time of the day or day to express God. All it does is keep us separated and in conflict.
That's right.
And it is seen to do more to promote self-gratification than the glory and honor of God. And in line with our theme for this month, the ultimate goal is to express the nature of God that must be acquired through a personal relationship with God, in order for us to truly stand up and stand out. You so if you were fortunate enough, like I was, to have positive male role models as you were growing up, you were taught at a very early age to stand up for yourself. Don't let anyone push you around. At our meeting during our sharing time, Dr. Ronald Payne shared his story of how he had these brothers and everybody in his family seemed to achieve a certain height. And one day his dad walked up to him and said, "Boots, I don't think he's going to get any taller." So he took it upon himself to teach him how to defend himself. So I guess no karate or something. But most young men, when they're growing up, they're taught to stand up for themselves and take care of themselves. They're told that if you're scared, don't show it. But they're also told to keep their word and stand up for what they believe in. And if they want to really stand out to be the best at whatever they decide to do, work hard, get an education. And as my dad, JT, would tell me, learn a trade, son, and you'll never be broke. But you know, most of our young people, if you were to interview them when they're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and ask them what they want to be when they grow up, they're going to say things like rapper, athletes, movie star. Because they believe that if you achieve fame and fortune, you'll be able to stand out. But to be fearless, to have conviction, to be honorable and trustworthy are all important traits that we should all strive to have. To set lofty goals for ourselves, work diligently to achieve them, are attributes that we should all aspire to possess. But what I came in today to magnify for you is, unless you are spiritually grounded and have faith in a power greater than you are, if you don't know your relationship to the spiritual universe, if you don't know Jesus for yourself, no matter how accomplished you become, you won't stand up and stand out in what really matters.
That's right, that's right.
Which is the ability to demonstrate unconditional love, gratitude, and humility.
Yes.
To truly stand up and stand out, your spiritual development must take priority over your material success.
Yes.
You see, when we use the unlimited power and presence of God for our good and the good of others, that's when we truly stand up and stand out.
Yes.
Dr. Ronnie came to us on the first Sunday of this month, and he opened us up by reminding us that we must recognize the power and presence within, and most succinctly, the power of our word. We must always acknowledge our oneness with God. But he told us the realization of that power is based on our willingness to act on the words that we speak. You see, when you know your relationship with God, you're able to speak knowing and act as if.
Yes.
The higher the level of your spiritual understanding and the more you put it into practice, the more command and authority you will have over your life. The more you will stand up and stand out. He told you a story from the book of Matthew about a centurion. You see, but like the centurion, all of us can achieve a level of success where we have authority and command over others. But as long as we stay under the authority of Rome, which is the material consciousness, our servants, our children, which are our thoughts, become ill. They become diseased with sense consciousness. You see, the centurion was working for Caesar. And you know, Caesar had everybody keeping an eye on Jesus. He was under what we call today surveillance. So while working for Caesar, even though he was told to keep his eye on Jesus, his eyes were open to something greater. His eyes were open to the authority of the Christ mind. So he asked Jesus to speak a word of healing. And he decided to take his direction from within instead of from without. He had no doubt in his mind that the same Spirit lived and moved within him. You see, Scripture talks about your children and things outside of you, but they're talking about nothing but everything that's inside of you. You see, he demonstrated a faith that replaced his Roman consciousness with that of a spiritual consciousness of Israel. Dr. Ronnie wanted us to know that God acting through you will allow you to stand up and stand out.
Yes.
That's why Ernest Holmes says, the living Spirit of God is incarnate in every man.
Yes.
And as my Big Papa, as we call him, my grandfather, Big Papa. You know, the Big Papa and Big Mama. Y'all, anybody else had that? can do all things through Christ. That was the faith of the centurion. He believed that. And Dr. Ronnie, the big takeaway that I took from what he had to say is, no matter what it is you speak about, no matter what it is you think, you have to do something in support of your desire if you truly want to stand up and stand out. Then Reverend Paul came to us and said something that really made me stand up and take notice. He says, don't cheat the man in the mirror. You can't stand up and stand out unless you love God and yourself. Yes. When we let wrong thoughts enter our mind, that's when you cheat yourself. He told us that the first order we were given by God was to be fruitful and multiply. To be fruitful and multiply, you have to plant seeds of faith. You see, you were given total dominion over your limited thoughts and ideas of abundance, which is represented in Scripture by the birds and the fish. He told you that your cornerstone, your foundation for your life is your thinking. So you should always have high, holy thoughts. Scripture says Jesus is the chief cornerstone. But when you don't keep your mind stayed on Jesus, you think negatively, and when that happens, we stumble. You see, all of us, not just Reverend Lisa, not just Reverend Jerrold, Dr. Ronnie, and Reverend Paul, all of us were chosen to minister to the kingdom, meaning that you are in control of your thoughts. Reverend Paul reminds us that there's only one power, but you have two choices in how to use it. You can think bondage, or you can think freedom. But the absolute cannot be bondage. But I want you to pay attention and notice how Dr. Ryan, Reverend Paul's message, and what I'm going to share with you today, and what Reverend Amon will bring you next week. And every message you will ever hear in every church and every synagogue will all focus on the very same premise. You need to embody the Christ mind if you truly want to stand up and stand out. You need to be sincere. You need to be just. You need to be loving. You need to be giving. You need to be fearless. You need to be faithful. And most of all, you need to be ready for eternal peace. Yes. For those of you who looked in the textbook, how many looked in your textbook sometime this month? We got one there. Can you get But if you read chapter 6, which is man's relationship to the spiritual universe, what you found that is what's true for the universe is also true for you. Yes. He talks about the triune nature of God, which is also the nature of man. Yes. There are three creative aspects, but there's only one mind. That's right. We call it the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Father is all-encompassing. The Son is all-loving. The Holy Spirit is all and ever expressing. And God's nature is always being reenacted through man. Now, he tells you that we are spirit, soul, and the body of God. Now, before you metaphysicians and practitioners and New Thought folks stick your chest out too far, that does not mean that man is God. It means that his nature is one with God's nature. There is one mind, yet there is multiple unique expressions of that one mind. The inherent life, the real life, is the only life God knows. And it's the only life he could ever create. Anything unlike God exists because of our chosen thought. You see, our suffering will continue until we awaken to our true spiritual self. You know, this craziness that we're witnessing today, is not the will of God. It's the will of man to resist and limit the loving expression of God. The young man touched on that at the breakfast. He phrased it as being a demonic influence. But we know there's only one power and one presence. So when someone uses the term demonic influence or devil, what they're referring to is your inability to recognize and act as the God that was created within you, and you make a choice to do something contrary to that truth. You know, instead of seeing ourselves as whole, healthy, and complete, we often see ourselves naked and ashamed. That's what happened to Adam and Eve in the garden. You see, they were placed in the kingdom of heaven. They were placed in a situation where there was nothing for them to want or need for. But because they got a little bit overzealous with what they saw, they wanted to find out what it was like to experience not just good, but what's up with this evil stuff. They crossed the line. But the first step in their battle to get with their physical exposure of good and evil was to cover themselves with a fig leaf of spiritual truth. You see, we were created in the kingdom of God, which is within us, which is what the Garden of Eden represents. But sometimes we make a choice. We make a decision to allow our thinking to move us in a direction that we shouldn't go. This, as you guys know, is my playbook. I don't get all my information from this playbook, but I can substantiate all of my information with this playbook. 2 Chronicles is our scripture for today. And there's some question as to who was the author of 2 Chronicles, but the Jewish theologians say it was Ezra. And a chronicle, as you know, is an account or story of how to get from one place to another. Not physical movement, but mental movement. How to remove yourself from a situation of doubt and negativity and work your way back to a situation of faith and hope and love and truth. In this story, chapter 20, it gives us a perfect example of what we must move from and through in order to stand up and stand out. Chapter 20, verses 1 through 7. And it came to pass after this, the children of Moab and the children of Ammon, with the mighty men of war, came up against Jehoshaphat to battle. Then there came messengers and told Jehoshaphat, saying, a great army has come up against you from beyond the Red Sea. And behold, they are encamping in Jericho, which is in Galilee. And Jehoshaphat feared, and he raised up his face to pray before the Lord and proclaimed a fast for all of the inhabitants of Judah. And he said to them, gather yourselves together and come, let us beseech the Lord our God. And all the inhabitants of Judah gathered themselves together, and even from far off cities they came to beseech the Lord. And Jehoshaphat stood in the midst of assembly of Judah and in the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem, before the new court. And he prayed and said, O Lord, God of our fathers, thou art the God of heaven, and thou art the ruler over all the kingdoms of the world. And now I stand before thee praying, and thou art God, who didst destroy the inhabitants of this land before the people of Israel, and gave it to the descendants of Abraham by faith forever. Now I know, just like my friend on the front row, you're saying, what does that have to do with standing up and standing out? Well, Reverend Jerrold's going to tell you. When we look at Scripture, just as when you were in elementary school, they told you that a noun described what? A person, place, or thing. The Bible's no different. These names that you're hearing describe a person, place, or thing. And in some cases, all three. Moab, the person, son of Lot. What it means is it's the seed that flows from the Father. Within that seed is the possibility of good in every external condition. As a community, it denotes the carnal mind that must be destroyed if you want to preserve your spirit, your soul, and your body. You have to cast out your personal limited self by the sword, which is the Word of God. And then among it's belief in carnality. It's those sinful thoughts that tend to reside in our generative region of our body. You see, it's one thing to be in love with someone. It's one thing to have a relationship with someone. It's one thing to enter into a passionate moment with that person. And it's another thing just to get busy so you can feel good for 5 minutes. That's not what we were given that passion and desire for. Then there's Jehoshaphat, which represents divine ideas, sound judgment, the purified inner self that always has allegiance to God. The higher thoughts that allows Judah, which is our spiritual consciousness, to always triumph. Jericho, which is the intellect, and Engad, and in the King James Version, Engad represents the love of consciousness. So you see that first verse is telling you that your carnal ideas, which is Moab, your sensual desires, which is Ammon, are at war with the divine ideas and sound judgment of Jehoshaphat. That subconsciously we can instinctively feel our thoughts and when their intellect is being attacked, which is Jericho. And the love of that intellect and Himad working together as love and wisdom are under attack. We must always remember that our intellect, which is symbolized by the moon, must be reflected by the light of the sun. That wisdom and love together is what produces the eternal light. Verse 3 tells us that we must raise up our face. We must seek a higher idea. It tells us we need to fast. We need to stay away from everything unlike Judah, everything unlike the spiritual consciousness that is ever praising the Lord. All the inhabitants of Judah, they knelt down and they prayed and praised God as one. They reflected the true nature of God. And in verse 5, those divine ideas were embodied by the Spirit within them. And then there was a new court, a new judgment of righteousness. And when we acknowledge the power and presence of God within as the ruler of our thoughts, then and only then do we become master of our creative ideas. The negative thoughts are destroyed when Israel, the spiritual nature, takes control and it returns our land, which is our conscious awareness, back to the people of faith. You see, you have to go through something to get something, to stand up and stand out. What these scriptures are telling us is that when you realize your true relations with God and the universe, helping you stand up and stand out. Matthew 5:16, Jesus tells us, he says, let your light shine before man so they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven. He's telling you why you should all want to stand up and stand out. The Bible is full of folk who made it their business to stand up and stand out. Abraham stood up and stood out when he used the power of his mind to produce a substance of an unlimited expression called faith. Moses stood up and stood out when he attained a degree of understanding that brought forth the law that urges man forward out of a physical oppression to a spiritual freedom. John the Baptist stood up and stood out when he brought forth a higher intellectual perception of truth that denies, that washes away material conditions and negative thoughts that limit our understanding and our ability to do the right thing. There's a whole lot of people who stand up and stand out. Gandhi stood up and stood out as a symbol of peace throughout all of humanity. As a young man told us on Saturday, Martin Luther the King, he called him a prophet, stood up and stood out. Everything that he said, every method that he used was a method of love. And people from all ethnicities, all across the world, every culture, whether they agreed with him or not, somehow gravitated to the message that he was bringing. He stood up and he stood out. But there's one throughout all of modern history that has stood up and stood out above all others, and that's Jesus the Christ. He stood up and stood out when he was born out of love and wisdom, spiritual truth and intellect. He stood up and stood out when he taught in the temple at 12 years old, exposing a growing consciousness that we were all sons of God. He stood up and stood out when he went through the cities and villages teaching freedom of the individual through the power of their imagination. He stood up and stood out when he created a harmony of spirit that healed the mental and physical conditions of all those who were afflicted. He stood up and stood out when he called the 12 spiritual faculties that must function under his authority and direction. He stood up and stood out when he denied the lure of flesh, sense demands and material desires for 40 days and 40 nights. He stood up and stood out when he sacrificed his human self for his spiritual immortality. He stood up and stood out when he humbled himself, received God's will, and fulfilled that will by resurrecting himself from human ignorance. He stood out when he repaired when he reappeared to emphasize that you too can stand up and stand out. But first you need to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. First you need to let the mind be in you that's in Christ Jesus. Scripture tells us that whatever we do must be done in the name of Jesus. Whatever we do must be done in the Christ nature that restores our original perfection. You see, through Christ, you have the ability to see God in everything. In Christ, you have the mind filled with divine thoughts. With Christ, you can let go of what no longer serves you. And like Christ, you can put on the new man or new woman. And for Christ, you can seek your divine center. And as Christ, you can commit to a higher life, which encourages you to stand up and stand out. So you say, Minister Jerrold, sounds good, but what can I do? What steps must I take to get to the point where I can stand up and stand out? You have to free yourself from all the impure thoughts. You have to overcome all your negative experiences. You have to eliminate all fear and doubt. You have to realize your inner truth. You have to subdue all your animal desires. You have to release your stubborn pride. You must control your emotions. You must gain spiritual understanding. You must take the time to cleanse your subconscious of all that mess that you've incurred throughout your life. And when you overcome what plagues you, when you rise above all your trials and tribulations, when you realize that you only use God as a power for good, then and only then will you be able to stand up and stand out.
Amen.
Happy Father's Day.
Amen.